my name is Amaris Morales, and today I am going to share with you guys my experience after high school, what I'm up to now, and just give some advice about people who are still currently in high school, and see if that can help you in any way. So first, I know this is for Attainable Futures. I was in Attainable Futures when I went to Downers Grove North. It was a really cool program. So I hope that, even though COVID is, ruining a lot of things, that this is, still as helpful for you guys as it was for me when I was in it. Anyway, so I graduated from Downers Grove North in January of 2017. In my semester off, because I didn't start college right away, in my semester off, I did some pretty cool things. I just worked a lot. I visited family. I went to go see my brother in Hawaii, he was stationed in Hawaii at the time. So I was able to actually stay out there and visit him for like a month and a half. And as you can probably imagine, I saw a lot of cool like sightseeing things, and we did a lot of like fun Hawaiian things that you can't do obviously in Illinois. So it was really, really great. Then I started at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana in the fall of 2017. I was between a few schools, but ultimately my school choice came down to the money aspect of it. University of Illinois is a great school. It had my program. It was a great program in my program. So it just made sense. I did want to go out of state, but obviously realistically, it just makes more sense to save money and still get a great education. So I ended up going to U of I, and there I got my degree in animal science with a concentration in pre-veterinary medicine. So obviously the end goal is to be veterinarian. I got my degree in 3 years. After graduating from high school early, I just knew that I had it in me. And I mean, to be a veterinarian is 8 years of school. So, and that's, assuming you get in on your first try of applying to vet school. So it can just be super prolonged. And so I just wanted to shorten things as much as possible and, save any time that I can to just be able to work with animals as soon as possible, because that's ultimately what I wanted to do, is work with animals every day. So what I did was I just fast forwarded things. I graduated in 3 years, from my second semester of my sophomore year till I graduated. So basically for, those last couple of semesters, because I was only there for 3 years, I was taking like 20 plus credit hours a semester. So it was definitely difficult. I also had a job on top of this. I worked at least 25 hours a week. I worked as a server, and I also worked at the animal hospital, the veterinary teaching hospital on campus as a receptionist. And that was amazing to get that experience, because I got my foot in the door of working at a veterinary hospital. And then from there, I later applied at a smaller clinic as a vet assistant and got the position. And I believe a lot of that had to do with the fact that I had already had this experience with reception at U of I, because at their teaching hospital, because, a lot of clinics, they're cross-trained for their receptionists and their vet techs or assistants, just so that everyone can do everything if needed and anyone can jump in at any time. So that was really helpful for me. And obviously at the time that I was applying to be a vet assistant, I was in my last year of college. So I was about to be, graduated with my degree. So it was clear that I had a passion for animals. So it was really great to be able to do that in my senior year, because I was able to get money for, groceries, whatever I needed as far as school went, and, books and all that, but also do something that was like so fun and that I loved, and it did not feel like work at all. And that's what I do now too. I'm still a vet assistant to this day. So it's just been really great. Also, I did some research in my undergrad. I did some research with a food nutritionist and also with an animal behaviorist. As my training with the animal behaviorist really, really got me interested in, animal behavior. I also worked as an intern for Katrina Junis, who is the owner of Pupcakes Training in Urbana. And I did a lot with her. I went to a lot of her classes, worked a lot with the dogs, and it was just awesome to see like another side of animal behavior, rather than just the research and education part of it. So that was really amazing to do that. And then I also studied abroad. So I went to Peru in the summer of, I want to say 2019. It was right before my senior year, my third and last year. So I went to Peru, and it was about 2.5 weeks, but I still got college credit for it. So I just didn't want to do one of the long-term study abroads. For me, it just wasn't something I was interested in. So I just did a 2.5 week study abroad, still got credit for it, and got some amazing experience while I was out there. Definitely highly recommend studying abroad while you're in college, because when you graduate, it seems like, you're like working, and it feels like there's not time, or, you already have the organization planned while you're in college, and it's literally a life-changing experience. So highly, highly recommend studying abroad if you guys do go to college, or if that's your, after high school goal. So, all right. So now my post-secondary schooling. So currently, like I said, I graduated in 3 years. So I'm graduated now. I graduated last May, in May of 2020. So now I am just waiting to take some extra classes for vet school. I did apply to vet school last year and I did not get in. So I'm going to reapply this year. Obviously, vet school is very competitive, and I'm not going to this is not something that I just thought of one day. This is something that I have been thinking of for a long time. So I'm going to, work on my application. Like I said, I work as a vet assistant now, and I work at a really amazing hospital in Chicago. I also work at Paws Chicago, the shelter, if you don't know that, as a relief assistant. So whenever they need extra help or somebody calls off, they ask me if I can work a certain day, and I work for them too. So it's really great to have that animal shelter experience, because I have found, especially with my trip to Peru, I found that I am really, really interested in shelter medicine, and I do, when I'm a veterinarian one day, really want to work a lot with shelters, and maybe even have my own practice that is, a shelter as well. So let's see here. So yeah, right now I'm not taking any classes this semester. I'm taking 2 classes in the summer, and they're prerequisites for vet school. And then I'll be applying, I'll be putting in my second application, this fall. And then I will know next winter when, that's when I'll know the decision if I got in that year or not. So for now, I'll just be getting as much experience as I can. I genuinely love what I do. Not getting into vet school my first year was not as heartbreaking as I thought it would be, just because I really love what I do, and it's just so fun. And even though the end goal is vet school, I really don't mind that I have to wait another year, because that just means I get to work as a vet assistant another year and learn every day and get all that much more experience. So don't fret if things don't work out in your favor, for schools or jobs or things like that. Everything happens for a reason. So let's see. Okay, so my career goal, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I get everything on my list. So my career goal, like I said, to be a veterinarian. I would like to be a practice owner, work with shelter medicine. And yeah, that is, the goal. That's what I believe I'm gonna do one day. So that's what I'm working towards right now, and I don't see anything else really that I can do that would make me as happy. Now we are going to talk about the advice that I would give to students who are currently in high school. So I feel like the advice always sounds really cliche, but the cliche advice is honestly the best advice. I would say just put your best foot forward in everything that you do. Don't half-ass anything, even if it doesn't seem important. If it is for your education or for your goals, for your dreams, it's important. Every little thing is important. So just make sure that you're giving your best and hardest work in everything that you do, and just prepare yourself as much as you can for any situation, whether it be a test or, college, grad school. Just make sure you're really preparing yourself and applying everything that you're learning. Don't be, a student that just studies for the test, study because you love what you're studying and you're going to use what you're studying in your field one day. It may not seem like that with certain classes, but I'm telling you, everything all comes together. And, you know, most importantly, never give up, because as somebody who genuinely, you know, loved my classes and everything, I still thought about, man, like, I don't want to go to college anymore sometimes. I mean, some tests after some, you know, bad grades and things like that, I was just very, very distraught and upset at myself, and why didn't I study harder? And it just made me want to like quit. And I just had to remind myself that, one, I'm not a quitter, and two, like, this is what I need to do to be a vet. You know, that's what my dream is. It's what my passion is. So once I just kind of like told myself those things, you know, you just got to believe in yourself. You have to be able to pep talk yourself, because sometimes in college, it's a little bit lonely. You don't have your family living with you. You know, you're like staying in your dorm, depending on if you have roommates or things like that. You have to be able to tell yourself that you're doing this for you and nothing's going to stop you, because this is what you're meant to do. So, which brings me to my last prompt here, which is what inspires me and why. So like I was telling you guys earlier, I'm super, super interested in shelter medicine. Being that I, you know, working at Paws, going to Peru, doing other experiences. I went on a companion animal spring break trip when I was in school, when I was in college. And, you know, I went to a pre-vet camp when I was in high school. Just like all the experience that I've had, and most of these experiences involve like homeless animals, shelter medicine of some sort. I realized that homeless animals and animals that literally don't have anybody that like loves them, you know, like an owner, like a home, they don't have a home, are my inspiration. Like, I really, really want to help the homeless animal problem, because it's a huge problem in the veterinary field. So that is something that is, you know, a huge interest and a huge inspiration for me. My dog Star, I have a 14-year-old pit bull, and you know, people are just very, you know, people are like scared of her because she's a pit bull. And so, you know, I feel it's my duty to educate people and, you know, about like breeds and things like that, and behaviors, and how any dog can be aggressive. It's all about behavior. So my dog is a huge inspiration for me. I've had her since she was a wee little puppy, and now she's this sweet old lady. So she's a huge inspiration for me. I love her to death, and I just want to make sure that people are aware of, you know, what they're afraid of, because she would never hurt a soul. And then finally, my family. My family inspires me daily. Everything I do, honestly, is for them, just to make them proud, and of course for the animals, because we need to help the animals. But yeah, they don't even know, like, my family's amazing, and everything that they have done, whether it's like helping me with rent while I was in college, or, you know, just random things like sending me food or like gifts, or, you know, just anything, any care packages while I was in school. They've been just amazing and super, super supportive of everything that I've done. So there's really not more that you can ask for, other than just family that supports you and loves you. So they are, of course, a motivation and an inspiration for me. I hope this video, I ran a little bit longer than I was hoping. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I really loved my time at Downers Grove North. U of I was an amazing experience for me. If I, you know, get into U of I this following year, they will be my first choice for vet school. So, you know, fingers crossed for that one. The vet school and the vet program is just amazing there. And I've worked at the hospital and I know how everything works, so it would just be so fitting for me to go there. I do plan on applying to a few more schools. Last year I only applied to like 2 schools. I'm gonna apply to like probably 5 or 6 schools this year. So yeah, I will keep you all updated if I'm asked to make another video, and I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your experience and attainable futures.